You are surrounded by design literally every second of every day. But have you ever just stopped and wondered why some things, well, why they just look perfect? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the secret rules that make great designs work. You know that feeling, right? You land on a website or see a poster and it just clicks. It feels effortless, it's clear, it just makes sense. So what's the deal? Is it some kind of artistic magic, or is there a secret formula at play? Well, spoiler alert, it is not magic. The difference between the total chaos you see on the left and the calm, organized design on the right, it all comes down to a set of rules. We call them the principles of design, and they're the secret weapons designers use to make sense of everything you see. So let's start at the very beginning with the absolute foundation, creating order. Think of these first few principles as the architectural blueprint of a design. They're the hidden structure that holds the entire thing together. First up, we have alignment. This is basically the invisible grid that connects every single thing on the page. In a really good design, nothing is just randomly plopped down. Everything is lined up with something else. And that's what creates that clean, professional look that lets your eyes glide smoothly across the page. Next, there's proximity. And this is a super simple but powerful idea. Things that are related should be grouped together, physically close to each other. I mean, think of a business card, right? The name, the phone number, the email, they're all huddled together. That's proximity. It's a visual shortcut that tells our brains, hey, all this stuff is one unit. And that leads us to one of the most powerful and honestly most misunderstood principles of all, white space. We're talking about the empty areas, the negative space around all the elements. And let's get one thing straight. It is not wasted space. It's an active, crucial tool that gives a design room to breathe. So why does it matter so much? Because white space is what separates luxury from clutter. It avoids that messy, chaotic feeling and instead guides your focus right to the important stuff. It adds a touch of elegance. You know, the best designers understand that what you leave out is just as important as what you put in. Okay, so we've used our first set of rules to build a clean, orderly foundation. Awesome. Now for the fun part, telling the viewer's eye exactly where to look. This next set of principles is all about creating a guided journey through the design. And we do that with hierarchy. By playing with size, color, and placement, designers create a visual pecking order. Your eye is automatically drawn to the biggest, boldest thing first. That's your headline. Then it moves to the subheading, and finally, it settles on the little details. It's like a visual roadmap for your brain. And working hand in hand with hierarchy is emphasis. This answers the question, what's the one thing you absolutely have to see here? A designer will create a focal point, making one thing pop by making it bigger or brighter or bolder. That buy now button you just can't miss, that is emphasis in its purest form. So how do you create that kind of emphasis? Well, one of the best tools for the job is contrast, just making things different from each other. The most classic example is the one we see a million times a day, black text on a white background. That high contrast is exactly why it's so easy to read. But contrast does way more than just make things readable. It's what injects life and energy into a design so it doesn't feel flat and boring. A pop of bold color against a quiet background doesn't just look cool, it actively grabs your eye and creates a focal point, telling you exactly where to look. And the last one in this section is movement. This is the path your eyes actually follow as they scan the design. A great designer never leaves this to chance. They'll use things like diagonal lines or even the direction someone in a photo is looking to guide you from point A to point B, telling a little story along the way. Okay, so we've organized all our stuff and we've told the viewer's eye where to go. The final critical step is to make sure all these different parts feel like they belong together as one cohesive piece. This is all about unity. A huge piece of the puzzle is balance, how the visual weight is spread out. On the left, you've got symmetrical balance. It's mirrored and it feels very formal, stable, and calm. But then look at the right. That's asymmetrical balance. It's not the same on both sides, but it still feels balanced. It's way more dynamic, more modern, and creates a really cool energy. Next, we have repetition. This is the secret to making something look strongly branded and professional. When you see the same colors, the same fonts, or the same shapes used over and over again, it builds a sense of familiarity. It creates an identity that feels intentional and trustworthy.
And it's really important to get that repetition isn't about being boring. It's about being consistent. It creates a visual rhythm that holds everything together. That consistency is what makes a design feel polished and what makes a brand feel strong and reliable. And that brings us to the grand finale, the ultimate goal: unity. This is where all the other principles we've talked about, alignment, contrast, balance, repetition, all of them, come together to create one single harmonious piece where everything just feels like it belongs. So there you have it. The secret's out. But I have to give you a little warning. Now that you know these rules, you're going to start seeing them everywhere. You can't unsee them. You now have the keys to understanding why great design works. So let's boil it all down. It's really a simple 3-step process. First, you create order with things like alignment, proximity, and white space. Second, you guide the eye using hierarchy, contrast, and movement. And finally, you tie it all together and achieve unity with balance and repetition. Order, guidance, unity. That's the whole game.
So the next time you're scrolling through an app or walking past a billboard, just pause for a second. Look at it. Ask yourself, what rules are they using here? Now that you're in on the secret, what are you going to notice first?